Welcome to Big Red Leads. I'm Big Red, getting you and your business back to the black. What are we talking about today, my friends? We're going to touch on some things today that will have you questioning, hopefully, yourself and some of the things that you've engaged in and why you do what you do, when you do what you do, and is it good for you and the people that you care about. Now, I was having a discussion with some friends. This was a few weeks back, and understand, like, we're in the month of February, so mindset work is still vital and important. So as you ascend every level, every level that you ascend as far as that big goal and dream that you have for yourself, your business, your career, just you as a whole, understand the mindset needs to adopt and delete things that are obsolete, and as you keep ascending in life, it's just the way it is. It's the way it has been. That's the way it's always going to be. So with that being said, a lot of the mindset work that we did at the beginning of January, the reason it's so vital is so that a lot of people don't even understand the basics of mindset work. So once again, we're talking and touching on this today, but why do you wear a mask? Why do we wear masks? Now, a lot of people have talked about this. There's tons and tons of content as far as philosophers and even gurus in certain spaces who touch on this subject. You wear a mask because you think that it's protecting you. Most people. Now, why do you wear a mask? There's three reasons why people wear a mask. Three. You're either insecure about something within yourself, you don't like yourself, or you don't like the behavior that you engage in when around certain people or the atmosphere and the environment that you are in at that particular moment. You don't like who you are, or you don't love yourself unconditionally. Three reasons. That's it. It's three. Three. There's three. It's one of those three. Now, the conversation with this particular group of friends and buddies who were there, it got kind of heavy. Now, I'm going to try to keep this as light as possible because we don't want to go too heavy, but there are some things that when you start digging down in there, you start finding some things that are really, really heavy, and a lot of people do not know how to act or interact with that heaviness, that weight of the subject matter. So it started out light. The conversation picked back up a few days ago, so that's why I'm making this video today, because I thought it was very important, and I tend to hang around a lot of bright, very intelligent people who have their own mind and can think for themselves. So when it comes to wearing a mask, why do you wear it? What are the reasons that you have it? Okay? And what was revealed in that initial conversation, there were a few lady friends who are just friends who happened to be in the group, and what was brung up was something that was very heavy and very traumatic that happened to a friend of mine when she was in college. And I knew about this, but not everyone in the group knew about this particular incident that happened to her. And those who knew, we just kept it close to the vest. This is our friend. Unless she wants me to divulge that information, I'm not going to speak on it. So what ended up happening was she went through something that no woman should ever go through. No person whatsoever should ever go through. She was violated in college. And what I'm simply speaking to is the reason she had a mask on for almost a decade after. And a lot of women don't come back from that, like being their authentic self, because you lose a part of yourself if you've been violated. Someone has gone against your own quote unquote free will. They've taken something from you. That's like being, I'm not comparing that situation to being robbed, but if you've ever been robbed and someone's broken into your house and taken some things, there's a feeling like of unsafe, like, okay, How do I protect myself? You put up a wall, you get security cameras, you do everything you can. I'm gonna get a dog. Like what? Look, I go get a gun. Whatever it is for you, that feeling does not go away just simply because you think it away. That's why I'm saying a lot of people don't come back from that situation. But the result of her going through that, she became very hard and coarse with people who did not know her. She came off as being very, I don't want to say rude, but understand this was a mask. And to her credit, she spoke about this and this was brought up. She was acting out of character because she thought that she was protecting herself. She put on a mask in that moment to get through the day-to-day life of just being a beautiful woman, smart, intelligent. And, she's married now today, and her husband, I've talked to him several times about it, with her. And, she's worked through a big portion of the trauma, and she's gotten through it. She's a better person for it. And a lot of the person and the personality that I knew prior to that situation, she's grown from, and she's gotten some of her old ways back. Like she was a sweetheart, and she total 180, like totally different person after that traumatic experience. That happens to a lot of us. So I'm not talking about code switching. Are you the same person at, let's say, your office place or where you work as you are at home? I'm not talking about privacy, because we're all weird in some way. We all have some little quirk that otherwise would not be acknowledged or even paid attention to if it wasn't for the fact that we're all adults, and everyone has some little weird quirk that that other people might find offensive, other people might find weird, or just like, why is this person like that? You're going to see that throughout your life if you've lived at all. Like, what bad habits or crazy habits does this person have that they're definitely not doing at their job? They're definitely not doing at their business. They're definitely not doing with fellow employees, co-workers, and things of that nature. So what, are you the same person at the bar as you are at work? Most people are not. Like, I know people who are straight savages at a bar or a club. But when it comes to the workplace, they are the most polite, fake, if you will. They've put on this mask at the office so that they can get the proper acknowledgement from their coworkers and usually their boss. So, how do you perform when you have your mask on? And why haven't you taken it off? As a younger man, I knew that I was out of sorts with myself. I knew that it wasn't always me showing up. And it was right before my 30th birthday. I had an epiphany. And those who know me will know what I'm talking about. Those who've met me, if you've met me anywhere in the world, I'm not big on smiling with people I don't know. At least up until I was about 30. I don't smile with people I don't like. I'm not fake in any way. I'm not sugarcoating the way I speak or how I speak for no one. Or the way I think, for that matter. What I have noticed, and it's probably been said to me at least 3,000 times in my lifetime, if I'm not smiling, I look intimidating and I look mad. And I'm a bigger guy, so it's going to come across that way. But understand, that's not what it is. I just don't smile with you people I don't know. Now, being traveled and seeing the world for what it is, the world is a beautiful place. I will not let anybody tell me otherwise. Yes, there are some places and spaces in the world that could use a hug, if you will. But when I took my mask off, I've never put it back on. I can articulate myself in situations, I can speak for myself, and I can think for myself in every single way in my life. Now, I can't speak for you and yours, but the question is, why do you wear a mask? And if you're a confident person, you'll get this. You'll understand this part right here. When you walk into a space, does the energy change when you arrive? Usually what that is, when the energy changes in such a dramatic way that everyone can feel it, it's usually when insecurities start to show themselves. And it's usually insecurities in others who are not as confident as they may seem to the public. So why do these people wear masks? Why do they wear masks? Either insecure about something, they don't like themselves or the behavior that they're engaging in, or they don't love themselves unconditionally as they should. They're afraid of what the world might think of them. And when I mean the world, I mean the people who know them. Would you think less of a person? Most people genuinely and honestly would say, no, I wouldn't think any less of a person. If they're being their authentic self, if you're being who you are, would I think less of you? No. Most people believe otherwise. That's why they put the mask on in the first place. And in the conversation, the original conversation, what got brung up was comic books. Might seem a little off since we're talking right now. But understand, Bane wore a mask. But it is one of the greatest quotes ever. People didn't care who I was until I put on the mask. Oh. But then you have Batman. And you have Superman. Who's the fraudulent one? One pretends to be clumsy, goofy, awkward, normal guy, but no one thinks twice about. When in fact, that is his mask, because he is the man of men. He is the god of men, if you will, powered by the sun. He can leap a building in a single bound. Bulletproof. Only thing is he wears tights all day, every day. I don't know about that, but we're talking about Superman. Who is he really? Superman cares about humanity. He's a kind person. He's honest. He may be a little lonely, but he is who he is. Clark Kent is what Superman, Kal-El, thinks of the human race, or the normal humans, if you will. Then look at the flip side at Batman. Batman, Bruce Wayne, billionaire playboy by day. Caped crusader, vigilante, bully by night. Both were raised with parents who loved them. Bruce Wayne lost his. Of course, after the initial hurt and pain of that trauma, he became the Dark Knight. Now, did he become the Dark Knight, or is the Dark Knight who he is? He puts on a mask to protect his facade. Because what he really wants to do is find out who killed his parents. So that's why he beats up street thugs at night. So who's the real one? We were using this analogy because it made so much sense. Who's the real fake? Because if you don't think that Batman is a bully, think about who he's beating up, who he's going after. We're not talking about your mastermind criminals. We're talking about just regular street thugs. Most people who are either on drugs, have mental issues, or they can't take it anymore from what society has dealt them, and they simply are going to take theirs. Batman is angry. Like, really angry. Bruce Wayne is his mask. Batman is who he really is. But it came from a trauma. It stems from a trauma that was unresolved. So, wearing the mask suits him. Just think about that. Like, where in your day to day do you wear a mask? And what benefits come from it? That's really beneficial long term. Not the short term, not what you're getting out of it from your job, not what you're getting out of it from your boss, not what you're getting out of it from friends and family. Long term, is wearing a mask the best way to protect yourself? Most people would say yes. Most people would say yes. They think that that is the way to go. That is the way I should be. I need to protect myself from what? The only people who wear a mask are insecure. And that's the majority of the world. Well, I shouldn't say the world. We'll just leave it at the United States. Most people in the United States wear a mask. You're working at a job you hate. You're listening to a boss you can't stand. But you tolerate it. Why are you tolerating it? Can you be your authentic self? Your genuine self in those spaces and places? That means no mask. I'll say this. It took a big chunk of my young adulthood to really sit with myself and have a real conversation. And when I had my epiphany, my life changed. No more filter. No more sugarcoating for people who do not see it my way. It doesn't mean that I'm always right, but my natural instinct is what keeps me protected. I don't need a mask, nor do you. Do you think the people in your friend circle won't like who you truly are? And if they're your friends, are you being disingenuous with them by not being who you really are? So why continue to wear it? Why continue to act and behave in a manner that does not suit you and more than likely is really unhealthy? Be who you are. Because most people wear a mask to perform. And the beautiful thing about comedy, most comedians take pain and turn their pain into laughter. A lot of people do. A lot of people, especially comedians, are great at this. If you've seen The Mask, comedy and tragedy, they're the same. You get comedy from tragedy. Comedy can easily turn into tragedy. Tragedy can easily turn into comedy. You're not a joke. You're a real human being. And you have to love yourself enough to take the mask off and be who you authentically are. It might make you question where you work, what type of work you do. But are you being authentic and true to you by performing every day? Just something to think about. Just something to just ponder, think about it. Now, in the words of Bane, one of the great quotes, because he had a lot of them. I'm not just talking about the movies. If you've read any of the comic books, Bane had a lot of them. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people know this or heard this one. You think darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. By the time I saw the light, it was nothing but blinding. Most people watching this video, you weren't born in darkness. But you put on a mask to protect yourself in the dark. So, it did get a little heavy. Yeah, I think it did get a little heavy. I'm not trying to get heavy on you, but I want you to think about, why do you wear the mask? Have you taken your mask off? Or do you put it on when it feels convenient? I haven't worn a mask in over 14 years. And I'm better for it. It's one of 3 reasons why you wear one. Why most people wear one. So, with that being said, my friends, family, love you all. Do you not like something that you're behaving? Something that you're indulging in? Do you not love yourself unconditionally? Or what is it that you're insecure about? Maybe you're not capable of doing your job. Maybe you might get found out that you're a fraud. Maybe your skills aren't up to par. Do you think less of yourself when things are reliant upon you? So why do you wear a mask? Understand that wearing a mask does nothing but handicap you. It's not protecting you. It's just like a border. It's isolating you. Love you all. Have a great one. Like, share, definitely subscribe to the channel. This is Big Red Leads on all social media platforms. Love you all. Have a great day. Just something to think about. Like I said, it did get a little heavy, but it's okay. It's okay. Love you all. Have a great one. Peace.